Hey everybody, give me just a minute. We're dealing with some weirdness. I know it's been 15, but man, well, albeit it just... Holy butt fuck. Hello everybody, sorry that took so goddamn long. Oh, woo. Also, hey Jackie, you need snuggles, Delint, num. Also, hey Jackie, you are getting all of the snuggles, also quit beating yourself up. Alright. This is the thing. Sorry, by the way, that we're 20 minutes into fucking stream and I'm just now showing my face. I will probably run a little late tonight because of that. But probably not by much. Let's just say me and Nexus got into a game we were playing and couldn't get away from it, mostly because of dialogue. Speaking of which, hey Nexus, where's your ass at?
I'm right here.
There you are. Nom nom nom. Understandable, Aiden. Also, hello Robert, hello Aiden, hello Heather, hello Ramon, hello Jackie, hello Delint, hello Johnson, hello Andy. Hello, Ramon. Oh, woo. But yeah, again, apologies. That was entirely on me, my brain, and what have you. So, apologies on the late start, everybody. That's a beautiful fucking image, even if that is terrifying. Oh, okay, I did do my bed. Praise.
The harvest is in danger. Revved up and ready to go.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy!
Oofle. Alright. Yeah. Oh god, hold on. So, I just invited the wrong person. Yeah, this game is very much like Slime Rancher with a mech. I was gonna say that. Like, it's very Slime Rancher. Hello, I fucking opened the wrong party. Like, or rather, I invited the wrong person.
Wow.
Hello.
Hello. Also, hey, first things first. Hey, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Two things. One, stop beating yourself up.
Okay.
And two, don't start with the I don't deserve it. That counts.
Okay.
If I had a camera, if only.
Don't worry, lady. If you had a camera, it'd be on my nose.
Andy is sick.
Oof.
Aw, poor Corky.
I wonder where the name Corgi came from.
As he's a Corky.
I mean, like where the breed name comes from.
No idea.
I am going to my mate's house Saturday.
Eek.
and staying there for the entire week to go to college.
Okay. So while I'm walking, I'm gonna walk my happy butt over here. I'm gonna go get more aluminum.
Excuse me.
See if I can find more red crystal. I will.
Aw, my cat's loving on me.
Aw.
By the way,
Nice.
for those wondering, I may be changing the hours of stream to include a little extra time. We won't be going later, but we may occasionally start earlier. Also, I've noticed the bot isn't fucking posting the goddamn link anymore.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
It feels like the bot went offline. So that's the other thing. That's okay. Start. Think about it again. Then you it's another one here. Because I noticed it wasn't working.
It went from being delayed 15 minutes to not working at all.
Yeah, I know.
Not the greatest bot.
No, not the greatest spot. I will be looking for a replacement soon. I've actually been looking for a replacement, but like, you know.
I actually spelled who's right.
Which who's?
Who's in belongs to whom.
I'm amazed you got a whom right. A lot of people don't remember that whom is a fucking thing.
I never do, but I just did.
It seems like the English language is a thing that lacks in this fucking country. Even though it's our primary fucking language.
I think we've made up our language at this point.
Huh?
I think Americans have made up our own language at this point.
Actually, yes and no. Did you know there are 3 types of English? Like, legitimately, there
What
are
are
3
three?
different forms of English.
What
There is
type?
European English, which is, you know, what you'll find in pretty much all of, you know, England, Germany, Scotland. That was not the button I wanted to press. There's American English, which is, in and of itself, we have our own vocabulary, our own vernacular, our own pretty much everything, as well as our own shorthand and even slangs. Then there is what everybody technically calls, well, okay, so in, like, the easiest way to explain it, if you played D&D, is it's the common tongue. Everybody.
Everybody what?
Sorry, now that my brain isn't split between 4 fucking things. What was I saying?
You're talking about the language.
Oh, everybody would notice. Everybody would recognize common tongue or the common language for a lot of countries, which is a broken form of English, as broken English. So, technically, there are 3 versions of English. Because American English actually separated from British English within 20 to 30 years of us creating the colonies.
Oh, that is. Hold on. I just got a pop-up notification on my laptop, and it was a picture of people burning a flag.
Yeah. I'm guessing that was either from Facebook or Instagram.
Nope, the news.
Weird. I don't have a news thing like that because 99.9999999% of news outlets right now are just bullshit. Like, they'll straight up bullshit you.
Hola.
Since when
See
aren't they?
anything you like?
There used to be a time where you could, like, deal with their shit. Like, you could sift through what was and wasn't real. You can't really do that anymore.
Anyway, I just got off on a dark tangent, so I'm gonna lighten the sun up.
No worries.
It's not great, but it's still better than, burning flags. Pretty much, I'm gonna be probably putting in like 2 weeks eventually.
Okay.
It's pretty much because. Oh, I'm just talking about how I'm putting my 2 weeks in, possibly. It's not because I don't like the job, and it's not because of the hours I'm getting. It's because the
Fresh soil.
struggle to
Neat
get
see.
from, one end of the state to another end of the state every Sunday night at like 10:30 p.m. is just gonna be too much.
Stop shooting.
Because I'm not gonna explain exactly where I live, because we're on live stream.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Like, the most
I'm
I'll
on-
usually give is, like, county. That's personal. Personally me. The basic streamer thing of, well, where do you live in? State. Like, that's the most that's the most any streamer should be expected to give, like, answer-wise for something like that, is which state you're in.
right.
If
Well,
you,
on the
like,
northern,
yeah.
well, I'm on the northern end of my state, and I'm in the center northern, whereas my college is on the east northern, the northeast. It's like a 45-minute drive. I don't want
Yeah.
people to make that every Sunday just to get me to college. You know what I'm... Sorry. I interrupted, didn't I?
What's up?
I interrupted, didn't I?
No, I was doing something, like... Yes, I was doing something, but it's more of my brain of thinking, no momento.
Wait, you think?
More than you would realize, yes.
I was acting surprised.
the funny thing, funniest thing to me is that you guys don't realize I'm very much into thinking in a way that would make your guys' brain hurt.
And you're a philosopher, so of course.
I mean, I try to be. I can't, like, claim to be a great thinker or anything, but, like, I study philosophy.
Oh,
that is,
shit.
by default, one of those things that most people don't typically do. Especially nowadays, because people just don't like the idea of thinking, and philosophy is literally thinking to improve your fucking life.
Oh, speaking of philosophy, did you see that YouTube short I posted from Jerry videos?
Which one?
The one where that German dude and he's like getting robbed in the bank and he just uses philosophy to completely destroy the robbers.
I mean, I saw the gay cowboy one, which is, oh yeah, no. Oh, philosophically secure system. Yeah, no, I saw that. That was fucking hilarious. God, especially the way it ended.
Where's the security system? I am the security system.
I'm the security system. What are you talking about?
I love Studio C.
Okay, so everything inside that area, I'm not going to, like, break.
Excuse me.
Cool. I have made that aesthetically, because I know my thing can go over, but I've made it aesthetically wide enough that my mech can walk through it. That's what I was going for.
I just accidentally yeeted a penny across my room.
Don't worry, lady. There is no accidentally about it. You yeeted a penny. Just be glad you didn't pee the Yeti. Also, I have no idea what that means, but still.
I am Confucian.
And I was gonna say, just don't claim to be Confucius.
Oh, I'm nowhere near Confucian.
Morning. Hope you had a good
No,
night's sleep.
most people
Why
aren't
don't we
near
try and plant
Confucian.
some seeds today, huh? Always good to have more crops in the harvest cycle.
I lack basic thinking. I don't even think I'd be accepted as one of his students.
90% of people nowadays would not be accepted as a philosopher's student. You know that, right? Especially back in the day, because we have become so complacent in thought that most philosophers would probably just chide us for existing. Like, I hate to point this out, but philosophers like, say, God, what was his name? My fucking brain is blanking on names and I hate it.
Which culture? I'll look it up.
That's the problem. Names don't just mean people. Sometimes it'll mean culture, and when my brain blanks out. Give me a second. I need a head empty.
Flint, damn it. Why are you laying on the bed of needles? Not needles, bed of time. Shit ain't Comfy.
God, what is his name? Literally the master of debate.
Let me look him up.
Socrates. Considered to be one of the fathers of philosophy, dude. Like, he has an entire method of debate named after him. But, like, Socrates, he would probably straight up insult people for how little the modern man thinks. Like, it's actually kind of scary how little most people actually actively try to use their brain. Like, I have met people who will actively choose to take the stupidest path imaginable just because it's easier in their head, where if they did the easier path, they just would have straight not did it. Good example. You know the thing that has permeated pretty much all of society lately? Cancel culture?
Yeah.
Did you know that's actually detrimental to the majority of the people who practice it?
How?
Cool. Do you remember Coyote Lovely?
It sounds familiar.
Coyote Lovely. Grey Wolf
They were
always wearing a
friends
hat
with,
one ear.
Sappho, right?
Huh? Yes.
They're friends with
The
Sappho,
one
right?
that was found to be in a relationship at one point with Sappho, and yeah. Well, here's the thing. Me and him had a debate at one point and it actually ended due to the Socratic method, because I figured out that me and him actually agreed on some things, just not on others, and there was no way we could ever agreed on the others, so we both decided it's a lost cause debating that. He was heavy into cancel culture. Believed that, you know, if you have made a bad decision in life, you should be shamed for it because you will grow as a person.
No, your life will just be over.
Well, that's the thing. My thought is, cancel culture isn't heavy on forgiveness. It's actually not. It's 100% a, once you have been accused, your life is over in the eyes of those who have accused you. So there is no forgiveness. There is no growing out of it. What he actually believed in, and I have the debate, like, data. I could technically release it. I don't want to. I very much don't want to.
That's fine.
And weirdly enough, out of respect for him, because I have a feeling if I posted anything about him specifically, it would just reopen a can of worms for him that I don't want to open for anybody.
I mean, it's already been canceled.
Well, yes. He's already been canceled multiple times over. But that's the thing. He was a huge proponent of cancel culture. One of the thoughts I had given to him when we were talking in that debate was, are you worried at all that this might come back against you? What makes you think that this sort of thing would not turn against you for any reason? And his response was, well, I'm a good person. It was I'm a good person, I go out of my way to help people. Cool, cancel culture doesn't care about that. Shortly after those conversations of mine and his, guess what happened?
You're canceled.
They found out that he was using Sappho as an informant. Then through Sappho, they realized him and Sappho were actually friends. Someone put it to light that they might have been in a relationship at one point, which would explain why they still talk to each other. All of that got blown out of proportion and canceled! Rather than hear context, everyone assumed the worst, and cancel culture comes for everyone. If you practice it, that is your choice and your lot in life. If you practice it, therefore it will come for you eventually. There is no one in it who practices it who is safe. Because there's no such thing as a perfect person, and the second you make a single mistake, it comes back on you. A lot of people that practice it, though, have the belief that they are inherently good and that they could never be canceled because they are, you know, acting for the greater good.
They're vigilantes.
Pretty much, yeah. That's actually all they really are at the end of it, is they're vigilantes. Now, the problem with that is vigilantism sucks ass!
I mean, the comics book.
Huh?
It only works in comic books.
Not even, because, understand, even comic books will bring to light the darkness that fucking vigilantism is. Best example, have you read the old Batman comics?
No, I have I have the first ever Superman comic, but
In some of the older comics, and even in the original cartoon, one of the undercurrents of the Batman series was he always doubted he was doing the right thing. But he believed that he didn't have a choice. There was a wrong in the world that needed to be righted, and he couldn't see any way inside the system to do it. So he took on the guise of a vigilante. Problem there is, you're doing terrible things for a greater good. The idea of that coming back on Bruce is the fact that, like, in some of the earlier comics, the majority of the police pretty much want him hanged.
yeah,
The
that's
only
always been a
reason,
thing.
like I shit you not, there are some areas where they don't want, they would rather open fire. There's only maybe like 4 or 5 cops in the entire force in Gotham that would even allow him to speak, let alone, you know, anything. Oh god, yes. To a massive, see, Nix, the storyline originally behind the cartoon was, am I doing the right thing? Gordon is the, like, in his head, Gordon is the, this is what a good man is. And the fact that Gordon will work with him means, in his head, okay, I haven't crossed that line of, I am unstable, I need to stop. There is actually a point in the original cartoon series where Gordon arrests him at one point just to get him to stop and listen. Like, arrest as in, okay, fuck it, put your hands behind your back. Are you really trying to do this? Yes, because you won't shut up. It's like, I think all of like 2 minutes in one of the cartoons. It's funny as shit, but at the same time, it shows that Bruce respects Gordon enough to go, he's getting pissed at me. I should probably stop at this. Also, hey Nex, nom nom.
Oh,
But because of that,
actually-
he also never assumes he's doing the wrong thing, because Gordon is also a huge fucking pushover, and likes what Bruce is doing in the guise of Batman. Mostly because he's doing what Gordon isn't allowed to do but desperately wants to. Which is no surprise as to why Gordon's daughter becomes fucking Batgirl. Oh, sorry, by the way, I went off on a tangent.
See anything you like?
We
That's
gathered.
fine.
Oh, I
Glad
know
that
you.
started
I
it.
know you gathered. Okay, so I can buy
Take
seeds.
care.
That's lovely. So I don't need to worry about deforestation as much.
Oh, did you hear about the latest update of First Entity?
Last I checked, they got the website back under control, not the original Twitter account. It also turned out to be a fucking kid, like, anti-furry kid who somehow got the password off of, you know, getting into somebody's password manager somehow.
Well, those are just allegations right now.
Yeah, no, that's why I said I've heard.
Someone apparently doxed a random trans person.
I mean, extra resources, restoring this. Cool. I
Morning.
mean,
Hope you had a good night's sleep.
Kiwi Farms was mentioned, and anytime their shit is mentioned anywhere, somebody gets doxxed.
The weather's
That's
real
legitimately
nice.
just how that
Let's
works.
get out there and seize the
There's a
day.
bunch of furries doxing their supposed hacker.
Yeah, I'm aware. Because Kiwi Farms effectively said, it's a fucking griefing website. Nix, it's effectively something awful for the new generation. If you remember those forums. But yeah, no, 100%, it's because Kiwi Farms stated, and I quote, "This is more than likely the guy because otherwise we have no idea. This person is a dead ringer for such and such, so more than likely it's him." That more than likely, for a lot of furries, is enough to effectively be the difference between, well, maybe we should act, and guaranteed we're gonna act, this is vengeance, come on. And the problem is, a lot of furries will look at Kiwi Farms and effectively assume this is gospel, what they say is all true. I know this because both fucking, the earlier mentioned Coyote Lovely and the wannabe like socialite god or some shit or whatever the fuck he was aiming for. It's Junkie. Both of them used those sites religiously. Now, do you know what I don't understand about those people using those kind of sites? Hey, question for everybody here. How much does the furry fandom or community at large hate, quote-unquote, right-wingers?
They'd like to see them dead.
cool, did you know Kiwi Farms has been considered and deemed, not just by the internet, but by the government in some countries, a, quote, right-wing extremist website?
It is. They're transphobic.
They've even deemed themselves this, and their owner has verified it twice in various podcasts. Why is the furry community using something like Kiwi Farms when it is run by the same kind of people that used to do shit like threaten to bomb furry conventions? Why do, understand? There is actual evidence on Kiwi Farms of them encouraging blowing up trans people, burning trans people alive, murdering furries en masse, bombing conventions. There was one dude who apparently got kicked off their shit for talking about bombing a school. They're an extremist site. Oh. Okay, now I've got to figure out what the fuck am I selling, because those can't be sold.
Hi, babe. My ex tried canceling me.
Huh?
My ex, he tried canceling me.
Which one?
You don't know this one. He's the one who basically tried to manipulate everyone into thinking I was an abuser.
I can find a buyer for
He
this stuff.
succeeded for a while, but
No, I think I remember you mentioning it occasionally. Was this back when you were in high school?
yeah,
Like,
I was
like
14.
early-ish high school?
Yeah, 13, 14. Yeah.
I remember the incidents and you talking about somebody at your school trying to do that to you. Very specifically, I don't remember names, but I do remember. Next, that would be Jackie. What's up?
I'm not gonna name what state he's in because that would be rude.
No, that
he's
would
in
also
another
be
state.
doxing.
But no,
So,
he
yeah.
lives in a state across the country from me, so he didn't go to school with me.
Okay. Well, hell, if that's not the same person, I don't know what then, because you've apparently had multiple people try to cancel your ass.
Oh no, the people at school tried telling everyone that I screwed Ori with.
Ugh. I mean, the worst part about all of that is, guaranteed, there are only two reasons people would accuse somebody of that. Do you know what they are?
Because they did it themselves, or because they want to see me behind bars.
Well, it's more accurate that they probably want to do so themselves and or
Hola.
want to see
See
you behind
anything you
bars,
like?
so we'll accuse them
One
of
trash
anything.
bin. You know the line.
That's just kind of the way shit is when it comes to people.
Hola. See anything you like?
But no, my ex, he I met him on Captain Call Club, and he effectively,
Coming
he was
right
like
up.
16, 17 when I was 13, 14.
Nice choice. See you.
Our relationship only lasted a couple of like a few
Hopping
months.
out for some fresh air.
But he within the first day, I was really dumb teenager, so I was asking to like PRP with people, and he was like, "No, just thinking about that is hurting me." I was like, "Okay, well, I can't control my thoughts, but I will control my actions. I promise not to do that." well, you thinking about it hurting me. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's somebody who's that's a lost cause of a person right there. I
And
do
that
not
was my
say
first-
that lightly either. That is a lost cause of a person. Because if your thoughts hurt them, yeah, no, there's no possible way you will ever be able to deal with that person in any way that they won't see as you committing an act of violence towards them.
Yeah, that was my first red flag. Because we argued about it for like an hour. First day dating. And it just got downhill from there. Eventually, my mom told me, if you don't break up with him, I'll for you.
Good
I
on
did
her.
it the day. I did it like the day his dog died.
I'm sorry, that sucked for him, but I mean, deserved. Not the dog dying, the breakup coming on the same day.
It was like the day after, same day. I don't remember.
Either
And I
way,
felt really bad about
deserved.
it. I felt really bad because it's like that's a double whammy right there. I don't like that. I didn't want to. That's why I was refusing to break up with him. I was like, I'm just gonna wait.
Now, because people will use things like that. Like, that sort of person will use things like that to try to guilt you the second the second that you do anything against them if they know it works.
And once I broke up with him, things got even more bad, and he got verbally really bad. Like, he tried to gaslight me, he tried to make me think I was the abuser, and
Yeah.
I just wasn't having it. I wasn't having it, so... And luckily, a couple of my school friends who were in the same... Because I made a Google Classroom on my personal account that he was in, and
Yeah.
so were a couple of my school friends. And he was telling everyone that he's abusing me. You need to leave the school classroom because he's a piece of shit. He won't listen to any of your ideas. Leave while you can.
Yeah.
And none of them believed him, luckily, because they were actually good friends. What happened was, eventually, I was in his Discord server because we were friends. Forgave him. And we pretty much said, like, I went into the promo and was like, hey, I'm looking for actors for a wannabe project. And straight up at everyone, whatever you do not go into his server. He abused me and will not listen to you. And then he proceeded to make screenshots and manipulate everyone into thinking I was abusive. That was a huge note for me. I blocked him.
Yeah, understand that would have been the moment where I'd nope the fuck out on that person as well, because I'm sorry. You can only do so much and you can only take something so far before it becomes bullshit. The second it becomes bullshit, that's a huge red flag on you as a person, and there are some things I even can't.
Don't forget where you parked it.
Like, there's very few, but, like, intentionally harming somebody or intentionally attempting to sabotage somebody, those are things I don't forgive. 9 times out of 10. Unless it is
Well, I did.
it's proven that the person has changed. Or is at very least tried.
Well, I thought he was, so I unblocked him. And then this was like, while he was blocked, I proved my innocence to a couple of people. And they were like, oh yeah, everyone hates you. He even hired us to make an animation about you. And we said yes. And I'm like, holy shit. He was willing to go that far. He was willing to make a gotcha life animation about me.
That...
And one of the people I was talking to was hired to play me.
That's called being petty, sir?
Oh no, one of the first video calls I got on with him, he let his friends ride him with a belt.
Did I just hear the phrase, ride him with a belt?
Yes. His friend got on his back, put a belt around his neck, and started pretending to ride him.
That's disturbing.
And yet me even thinking about being with other people is hurting him.
Nick's more than likely it wasn't months, it was years. It's actually kind of one of those things I love about
Morning.
Like,
Hope you had a good night's sleep.
people being
Why don't we
stupid.
try and plant some seeds today, huh? Always good to have more crops in the harvest cycle.
It's really funny watching people do stupid.
I actually lost a few friends because I decided to give him another chance. It wasn't
Well, I
worth
mean,
it.
yeah. Given the
They're
kind
like,
of
if
person he
you're trying-
was, I can understand that.
They're like, you're willing to give him a chance. You honestly don't deserve to be friends with me. And they blocked it.
Cool, those are people that are... Sorry. And this is one of those things that I know a lot of people are going to be pissed at me for saying. But if you're unwilling to forgive, you yourself don't ever deserve to be forgiven for anything. So, if that's the world you want to go with, sorry, you're not in a state where I can help you. And quite honestly, you're not the kind of person I want around. So, bye. That's usually my reaction.
Yeah, I was willing to forgive him for everything he'd done to me. I even tried being in a, like, me and my at-the-time boyfriend were, willing to be in an open relationship with him. And let him back in. I decided to give him a chance. We left on good terms, unlike the last time. But we got into a petty argument over, I'm afraid of binary people. Well, you're a hateful piece of shit.
I'm afraid of... What was the fear?
At the time, I was
Oh.
terrified of non-binary people because the
Your issue with
non-binary
the...
people at my school.
Yeah, non-binary people at your school being extremist little fucks.
I was afraid of them, and I said I'm
Rightfully so.
NB-phobic.
That's not homophobic. That's not anything like that. Do you know what that is?
Bad experience.
It's a valid fear because understand, you can't say somebody is like homophobic, transphobic, or what have you if they are genuinely afraid and have a valid reason to be afraid. Like, for example, let me put it to you in the most extreme way I can put it to you. And I'm gonna do this so everybody can get this. If you've shown a pattern of behavior that makes people think you will react harshly to something, you can't expect them to not be afraid of you. Hell, even I understand. There are people that are terrified of pissing me off. Hell, Nexus, hey, you get really tiptoey around my ass whenever we play games of a certain type. I know exactly why.
Well, that's because...
I know exactly why.
Can't exactly blame me.
The whole point is, you cannot justifiably have a history of doing something and expect somebody not to be afraid of you if that thing is you responding harshly. I get it. There are people that can be afraid of me, afraid of what I can do, what I'll say if I'm pissed. Rightfully so, because mania is a bitch, and whenever I get too mad, I can drop into a manic state.
I've experienced this firsthand.
Bingo! It's a fucking terrifying thing. There's one of the reasons why I warn people about it, because, hey, Jackie, before the first time you saw me lose my shit, how many times had I warned you I'm not mentally stable? I'm not all there. I do have flaws. I do have problems. I have anger issues.
Countless.
You know what I mean? Fear is a healthy thing. So if a group, say, at a school, a particular type of person, everyone in that grouping at that school all have a similar history of, you know, reacting harshly to, let's say, people not giving them what they want, or people choosing not to pander to them, which let's face it, that's what a lot of the problem is. A lot of people are really oversensitive, and when they hear no, they freak the fuck out. When you've got a single group that will react harshly, overreact, overrespond, or in any way get mean or violent, you can't then turn around and say something like, well, you're homophobic. No, they're not homophobic. They're just afraid of you specifically because you have a history of doing it. It's not homophobia. That's a justified fear.
And Max was like, not every NB has hurt you. You need to get over this. You're hateful. And I was like, I wish it was that easy.
People who would sling "you're hateful" and blame on a situation without first asking, well, cool, why do you have a problem with these people? Because, hey, I remember when you first brought this up with me, Jackie. Do you remember what my first question was?
What?
Why do you feel that way? Understand.
There's like,
I have 2 or 3 questions that I will do by default when somebody says something that pisses me off. And bear in mind, the first time Jackie mentioned this was just a straight up, well, I'm kind of afraid of the non-binary people at my school. Little known fact, I'm kind of one of those weird people who kind of, what's called gender fluid, which is by extension, part of the whole non-binary thing, if you want to get technical. So I took offense, and my first thought was, okay, well, wait. Why do you feel that way? And immediately you started talking about, well, people at school treat people. Can't be mad at that. That's not irrational. That's a rational fear. Cool. Crap, now I have to help explain that not everyone is like that. Right up until you started going, and I know most people aren't that way, but I remember that conversation quite well.
yeah. Well,
Mostly...
my ex didn't handle it.
You were going to say something?
Oh, my ex didn't handle it that way.
No,
He,
most people don't.
He instead, I was like, I told him several times, I don't want to talk about this right now. My anxiety's high as hell. Can we talk about it tomorrow? And then he was like, no, we need to talk about this now. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay.
Well, that's called power tripping. And
like,
that's another red flag.
I was like, we'll talk about this tomorrow. Good night. He blocked me, and he's not talked to me since.
Yeah. So, good riddance, first off, because that's the kind of person that will never... So, cool. So, I had this weird conversation of all places, on Twitter. With a individual, won't name names, mostly because I'm fairly certain most of y'all don't know who shit he is. About... Well, actually, maybe not, because I know a lot of the people that watch this are, you know, similar in thought. So if any of y'all have, you know, ever seen a dude on Twitter called Thoroughly Blessed?
No.
Worth a shot. One of the conversations I had been having was how there's a difference between somebody who is just responding and then somebody who is willfully intolerant. Do you know what one of the big things is? Do you know what the word for somebody who is willfully intolerant is?
Bigoted?
They're a bigot. Willful intolerance, the knowledge that you are not willing to tolerate this individual for this reason, that's a form of bigotry. I don't like bigots. I've fought against bigots my entire life, pretty much, because at one point they decided because of the way I was born, I wasn't, you know, worthy of living.
So,
Hey.
I'm not going through a breakup. This was years ago.
Oh yeah, no. This is talking about the past. No worries. So this is one of those things of... I don't like bigots. I know very well what bigotry looks like. It happens in every culture, from every political side, from every angle. You don't even have to be politically intolerant to be a bigot. You can just be socially intolerant, or what have you. Bigotry is still bigotry. Now, one thing, having dealt with bigots in the past, is there are two types among them. One is the type that is intolerant willfully, but only because they have been misled. Those are the kind of people like, let's say you grow up around a family that is entirely homophobic in the literal sense, not the social sense, and they teach you, like, as you're growing up, that gay people are inherently dangerous. You're willfully believing that, but it's also something that is, like, you're continuing to believe that by choice. That's the willful part of it. When somebody, like, for example, when somebody says to you, if you are that kind of person, well, what if I could prove that not all willfully bigoted is, I choose not to listen, you are my enemy, you are not human. Those type of people, there is no helping them. For somebody who has been, for example, taught all their life that something is a certain way, and then somebody goes, well, what if I could prove otherwise, and they go, I'm listening, those are the ones you can work with. Hell, I've worked with them. I shit you not. When I was in my about mid-20s, I was about 25, 26 years old. No, not even that, I was about 23. I watched a buddy of mine who I had known for years and watched struggle with, like, the worst kind of things you could imagine for years. Because, I had met this dude in grade school. Really good friends all throughout grade school. We get out of high school, find out that he is a card-carrying member of the Ku Klux fucking Klan. Figure this out because he flipped the fuck out at me because I invited him to hang with me and my friends outside of school. And my friends just so happened to consist of 2 black guys, an Asian, 3 Mexicans, and I was the only white dude. He had been taught by his racist-ass father that none of the other races were to be trusted. So much so that he had become a member of a hate mob, like a hate group, the KKK. Then he met me, who, well, you're a white guy hanging out with all of these other minorities. I was taught, this. You're proving by existing that that's not true. I watched this dude go from being a member of the KKK, the actual KKK, to when we were about 23 years old, I watched him burn his fucking hood. I watched him renounce that shit, burn his hood. He even had his tattoos removed. All because he chose to stop believing. Some people can be worked with. Identifying the ones that can be, golden. Somebody who does things like says, well, your thoughts are violence towards me. No. Those are intolerant. Those are the type that will never listen until something happens in their life that makes it to where they don't have a choice. The ones that can be worked with, it takes time. Because you have to sit there and, through your interactions with them, deprogram long-held beliefs that might be ingrained by people that were more important to them than you might ever be able to possibly be. My best example, same dude. It was his dad that taught him from his youngest memories that those people are dangerous. It took me from the time I figured out what he was to effectively multiple years later in college to finally get it through to him that his father was a problem. Everything he had been taught was wrong. And I won't lie, me and him wound up in a lot of fistfights. Because, how bad does it feel having a friend say, dude, your dad's a piece of shit? Like, that's usually a guttural reaction unless you already recognize it.
I mean, if someone walked up to me and said that my father was a piece of shit, I'd probably beat the shit out of them.
Bingo! The first conversation that led to me and him ever getting into a fist fight. And by the way, I need to point out, you guys have heard stories about this individual. Because y'all remember me talking about one of my closest friends throughout all of my life named Johnny? Everybody who spent time with me in Discord knows that name. That's the buddy of mine. We were thick as fucking thieves from pretty much grade 3. Yeah, that was Johnny. A wife and kids now. He's a decent dude.
What do you mean, Oni?
No, neither. Nix, quite literally neither. Because it's one of those... We came out of those fistfights and it came to blows. We both had the belief that second, violence is the only option. Both parties have failed. To most people that think the way that I do, violence is your last option. It is the indicator that all else has failed, and you have to resort to something carnal, something instinctual, something of your animal nature to resolve a conflict. That's a failure as a human being, because it means you have to rely on something ingrained in your DNA, the ability to harm others. if you have to fall back on instinct, your logical mind, your rational mind has failed you. If your logical mind has failed you at that point, that's a failure on your part. By the way, hi! We'll be the first to say I've been there. I've been there quite a few times. In a lot of cases, because of myself. It's one of the reasons why I recognize violence as a failure. Every single time.
And there was this one, like, 14-year-old boy once, and he told me that he would screw my dad. I told him my dad's dead. He was like, I'll put it in his coffin. And I lifted my water bottle. I was about to lift it out of him, and I stopped. Realized this is wrong. Don't do that. My stepson found out and told me that is a failure to stand up for my father's memory.
Now, you know why? You know what you ask yourself in moments like that where somebody brings up a dead relative? In that moment, you ask yourself a question. Would they want me to do this? It would feel good to beat this fucker's ass, but would they want to see me have done it?
Nope.
There's your answer. Not an option. Walk away.
That's what I did, and I reported him because he also harassed an 18-year-old girl.
Yep.
He put her water bottle in
no,
the front of his pants.
Yeah, you don't have to describe how he harassed people. Oh.
But we told the principal this kid got suspended.
Good.
How's your game going?
Well, for the last little bit here, I actually stopped fucking playing.
I noticed. That's one of the reasons I said it.
Oh. Well, I mean, we're having a conversation. One a little more important.
Don't forget where you parked it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like your game's more important than negative topics.
Yes and no, because understand through this topic, I guarantee you, a lot of people have learned a lot about both of us. Like, best example. A lot of people don't know that I hate I hate bigotry. Like, straight up, the one thing I don't tolerate, the one thing I will never tolerate, is somebody else trying to, you know, assume some higher standard over somebody else. Don't like bigotry, never have, never will.
Oh, and my fear of envy. Here's the thing. One of my best friends is an envy.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons why. Understand? I've been called not homophobic. I've been called homophobic multiple times. I've also been called transphobic. Hey Jackie, you've spent time around me. Better yet, hey Aiden, you've spent time around me. Like, physically in my presence. Am I transphobic? So, bingo. Most of the people who know me, who have been around me, know that I am one of the most accepting people that you'll probably ever meet. Mostly because my core belief is, so long as you are not hurting someone else, you should be allowed to do what you're doing. So long as what you're claiming does not encroach on the rights of others, no harm, no foul. That extends to everything. Shit. If you want to be a non-binary, female-presenting, fucking garden gnome sexually, you do you.
I'd call an idiot.
I wouldn't even say that, because usually there's a psychological reason why people have those urges. So it's a you do you, live and let live, so long as you're not forcing your beliefs or your thoughts or your needs, and or rather not needs, but your wants on others. Golden. No harm, no foul. Live and let live. The minute you try to claim superiority and claim that you are inherently, for any reason, more deserving of your wants being pandered to than anyone else, you've immediately fucked up. Because that is, at its core, what bigotry is. You believe yourself more important than the person next to you in some way, shape, or form. And because of that, you're demanding preferential treatment. Or demanding that your will be enforced over them. No.
And that's the trans people at my school and the non-binary people at my school believe they were better than straight people or they were better than cis people.
What's up?
Most of the like trans and non-binary people at my school believe they were better than cis people, better than white people, better than trans people. Believe themselves inferior for being white. Like,
that's the other thing, is that getting onto the topic of things like racism, a lot of people will say it's prejudice plus power. No, it's not. Please, please, please. Since so many people like the dictionary definition of shit, until about a decade ago, or not even a decade ago, less than a decade ago, read the original meaning of bigotry. Read the original meaning of intolerance. Read the original meaning of racism. They have all been changed recently. Pretty much they equated to, it did not matter who was doing what, to whom, or why. Or rather, or how. The why was the only thing important. If you believe yourself either superior or inferior to any other person on a, like, petty standard, like, for example, believing that you are inherently better or worse than somebody because you're straight and they're gay, or they're straight and you're gay, or they're cis and you're trans, or they're trans and you're cis, or you're white and they're black, or you're black and they're white. Every single one of those counts as an ism. It would be sexism, racism. They all mean the same thing. They're all a form of bigotry.
yeah. And it was like, they were talking about, this is why I hate men. This is why I hate cis people.
Those are...
Wakey, wakey, partner.
Those are
You've been
bigoted
doing
individuals.
real well since you arrived. Keep up the good work.
And again, those are usually the
I
ones.
don't like the look
God
of
damn it.
this.
Do those like destroy your crops?
Yes.
Will you be able to make a greenhouse eventually?
Huh?
Will you be able to make a greenhouse eventually?
I don't know. Like, understand, I blind play these games. Ah,
I knew you could do it.
fuck me. At least I didn't lose crops.
But my anxiety was so bad that, like, I even didn't want to watch the Agatha Christie movie.
What's up?
Hmm?
What did you say?
My anxiety was so bad today that I didn't even want to watch Death on the Nile.
Yeah. I mean, anxiety can be a complete fucking day ruiner.
I mean, I've witnessed it several times with you and your meltdowns and stuff.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Anxiety is no joke. You know from experience both, you know, personal and having seen me. It can fuck your day up. Just no questions asked.
Oh, believe me. Like, I was, I'll tell you the story of my first anxiety attack, and one of the more recent ones, because they're both pretty relevant to this. My first one, my mom was in a mental hospital, and I had just gotten out of one. And I had really bad intrusive thoughts about
What will it
killing.
be?
Yeah.
Like,
Pleasure doing
I
business
wholeheartedly
with you.
thought, what if I become him? What if I carved a smile on my face? What if I did this? What if I did that? And it scared me. Like, it genuinely scared me. So, and there was this one Gacha Life animation of his origin story that played In the End by Linkin Park. And I love that song. But whenever I tried to play it on piano, it reminded me of him. So, I wanted to call the hospital and talk to Mom. Well, I thought they're like, well, we can't right now, it's late, blah, 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 and he was not about it. And then he got a little nice, and then I flipped the fuck out. Screamed and almost collapsed. My legs started shaking, I apologized profusely. I didn't know what was going on, I couldn't form coherent sentences.
Popping
He
out
knew
for some
exactly
fresh
what was
air.
going on because he suffers with him too. So
I
he was
don't
like,
know.
okay, you can just sit
No.
down.
Did not
And I
know
don't
me.
And he suffers with him too, so he like straight up told, okay, sit down, relax, this is what's gonna happen. You're having an anxiety attack. And he just walked me through it, but it made my night horrible. So I laid down.
Yeah.
And then one of my more recent ones, I decided to go on a walk in town with my mates. We went to an ice cream shop, and all of a sudden I started feeling not so hot. And then all of a sudden my thoughts started racing about like what would happen. Because I've been having like weird thoughts about what would happen if I passed away, what would happen to Joey, like stuff like that. And then all of a sudden it got worse and worse and worse and worse. And all of a sudden it got to the point where I could barely finish my lemon ice cream. It was one of those little cups that they serve at school, like the shit ices.
Yeah.
And I couldn't finish it because I was like so my stomach started hurting, and all of a sudden it became like my chest started hurting, and then my arms started feeling tingly, and then I just started having worse thoughts, and then I was like, what if I died right now? Like, what would happen? I'm scared.
Come on up
I
and take
barely
a
made
look.
it back to his house. And I upset him so much that he threw his ice cream cone away just so he
Come
could
back
hold me.
whenever you like.
It ruined the fucking day.
Yeah. understand. I've had arguments that were as petty as like I've had moments in my life where a really good example was when I was in my 20s. I had a roommate that straight up would confuse things and would put things in random places, and one day he put something in a place that I was never going to look for it in, but that it was something that I used on a daily basis. I lost my shit. 100% lost my shit at him. And it was one of those things of the break didn't like take a huge amount of time. I yelled at him and he was like, "Oh shit, yeah, hold on, it's over here." And that broke the thing. Like, that was fine. Understand it. After a break, you like shit. No matter how long or how short it is physically exhausting, mentally draining. It is an emotional roller coaster, and afterwards, most people with anxiety also suffer from things like paranoia, so you wind up spiraling with thoughts of just, fuck, I'm a terrible person, I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have yelled, I shouldn't have been mean, I shouldn't have this, that, I'm a terrible person, and that just goes on repeat in your head.
Good night, Heather.
That is one of the most common things with anybody who suffers from any form of anxiety disorder is they'll sit there and blow shit out of proportion in their own head and sit there and blame themselves. One of the reasons I get on people and tell them, hey, quit beating yourself up. I know I've said that to both of you bastards.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't recall that.
Bitch, I've had to say it to you multiple times.
Not my brain.
Mostly because you were probably drunk.
What's that supposed to mean?
You know what that means. Damn here, you yum head.
Yeah, where I put the crowbar?
You ain't getting rid of
I'm
me
not
that
helping you.
easily. Yum.
I'm not helping you at this point.
Did you find the crowbar? I grabbed the spray bottle. Which one?
Grab this bottle.
You know what?
So-
I give up.
Haven't you learned your lesson? Because, oh, woo, yes, please, daddy, get me wet. Oh, woo.
Y'all wonder
were
why I
saying-
drink.
You were saying what about the spray bottle now?
Y'all wonder why I drink. Speaking of which, I don't feel like getting up.
Oh, by
hope
the
for
way.
Knicks.
By the way, what I'm about to say, I say next because of two reasons. One, this is for anybody who clocked out when my brain or when I started talking about anything like race, sexuality, or what have you. Your brain clocked out and you just decided to TLDR. Let everybody live their fucking life. Don't assume you're better or worse than anybody else. If you do, you're a bigot. You have two choices. You can either keep believing that or you can try and stop. Or, you know, choose to listen to the people who actually live. And, you know, let live. If you're the other type, go away. Nobody wants to be around you. No, I can't even say that because there will be people who want to be around you, just... I can't in good conscience say that anybody who'd want to be around you if you're a bigot is. I can't even say that because, fuck! No, I can't say that because, again, forgiveness is a thing. It's just, personally, I don't want to deal with you. But yeah, no, back to the thought that originally brought up, the dude on Twitter. The conversation was effectively, you know, he was dealing with somebody who was being bigoted towards him, and my thought was, oh yeah, that's why I immediately block individuals that act like that. But bear in mind, I also nuke my block list like every year or so. And start fresh with 0 people on the list. The reason I do that is to give everyone another chance. Mostly because live and let live also kind of requires being willing to forgive. And being willing to accept that cycle of, cool, I blocked you 2 years ago. Are you still that kind of person? Oh, you have me blocked. Never mind. You're not ready. Or, cool, you're still that kind of person. Block you for another year. Come back a couple years later. Are you that person still? Are you willing to talk? Still not willing to talk, huh? Block. Kind of a requirement of life, you know? Apparently they liked the concept of the be quick to block, but also nuke your block list every now and then.
Nothing like a good night's rest. Don't
If they've
forget to water
forgotten
your
you?
crops today.
Oh, well.
Otherwise, it'll be a bit tough for them to grow.
If somebody you blocked forgets you existed, cool. Do I remember why I blocked you? If I do, I'll ask you, do you still feel that way? If you still do, cool. If not, cool. Doesn't change one way or another until you've acted on it. Like, the best example I can give. Y'all would probably think I still have people like Junkie blocked on social media, yeah? I don't. I unblocked the bastard years ago. He's just never spoken on Twitter again. He's never spoken to me since. Actually, he didn't speak to me in general. So, I mean, no real loss, no gain, but no longer have him blocked. Hell, there will come a day where I won't have fucking bulk blocked, though that's probably not going to be for a while. But, like, forgiveness is a required part of life, just like everything else. If somebody's willing to talk, have a conversation, like, or they, you know, don't think the way they did that made everything go to shit, cool. If they do, oh well. Like, if they weren't willing to listen back then and aren't willing to listen now, there's no point. It's actually, weirdly enough, where or not where but there's a old saying that kind of feeds into that thought. You know what it is? Can't win against fools. Also, hey Nexus,
Yeah.
you're a Ghibli fan, right?
Oh, Studio Ghibli? Yeah.
Yeah, those words kind of ring weird in your head, don't they?
Just a wee bit, lad.
Can't win against fools. You know why?
Oh, this.
How many Ghibli movies that phrase winds up in? There is one cynic in every Studio Ghibli movie. Every single time, there's one cynic. At minimum, one cynic. The phrase "can't win against fools" is a cynical approach to life. And yeah, most people have that. But it's also an old Diogenistic belief. And for those of you who don't know, do y'all know who the hell Diogenes the Mad Dog was?
Mm-mm.
Nexus, you don't get to answer. You already know. You've listened to me rant about this guy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, if you guys don't know who Diogenes is... Oh, shit. Sorry about that. I haven't done much other than, like, watering and seeding. But yeah, no. If you haven't studied Diogenes, I very much would suggest it. This is a dude that effectively allowed the world to walk on him so long, but he's a weird dude. He's fun to study though. Think equality taken to an extreme. Like, doesn't matter if you're a man, woman, young or old, rich or poor, black or white, smart or dumb. Every single person is, in essence, equal in every way. Or rather, should be treated as in every way. This was also a dude who historically, this guy was a beggar, lived as a beggar his entire life, pretty much. One day, Alexander the Great comes up to him and says, "Sir, I could give you anything your heart desires. Name it and it's yours. I can give you anything. I can give you, you know, the adoration of people young and old. I can bring to you women. I can give you land. I can give you wealth. Name it and it is yours." Only thing the bastard said was, "Cool! Get out of my light!" And then pointed out to Alexander the Great, "You're standing in my sunlight. The sunlight is free. I kind of need it. It's kind of the only thing right now that I need to dry off, because I've been walking around out there in the pond. So get out of my light." So Alexander the Great asks, again, "I can give you anything you want. Just name it and it's yours." All he wanted was for the dude to fuck off. No, he didn't shit on Alexander the Great. He shat on Alexander the Great's father's lap. Alexander the Great introduced Diogenes to his father, who at the time was the king before Alexander became king, and essentially told his father, "This man treats everyone the same, regardless of station." And the man straight up didn't believe his son when his son had spent weeks trying to convince this man, "I can give you anything, just name it." The king decreed, he demanded, "Tell me what you want." "I want nothing." "Well, every man has a want. Everyone has a need." "Well, I need to shit," walks over, shits on the fucking king. Winds up getting thrown in prison and cussed the king out from his cell so fervently for hours on end that the king pardoned him after he cooled down and told the man, "I can respect anyone so willing to die by their beliefs, and you have proven today yourself to be a man of your word. You treat everyone the same. I cannot fault you for that. With that said, I never want you in my court again. And he was barred from ever stepping foot in that palace or in that city again. Bear in mind, this is also a man who, when Socrates decided to describe humans as featherless bipeds, he had a chicken freshly plucked, or chicken killed and freshly plucked, brought it into one of Socrates' classes, and in front of his students went, "Behold a man!" and presented the freshly plucked fucking chicken. Because chickens are bipedal creatures, and that one had no feathers. So, behold a man.
I mean, no.
At the time, by the definition given of featherless biped, it was right. It didn't help that it got his ass beaten within an inch of his life by fucking Socrates. Or like 6 of his students. He actually wound up bleeding on somebody, like, in recovery of that, and wound up in a prison cell because of it for like 2 weeks. Oh yeah, the culture he existed in wasn't... Cynicism wasn't accepted or respected until well after his death, when everyone effectively went, yeah, he was a dirty old fucking psychopath, but at very least he had people thinking. Nexus, quit changing the subject. You know my brain can't do that. And yes, the
I didn't say jack squat. What?
I was talking to Nix.
You said Nexus.
Oh, sorry.
I was about to say, the fuck I do.
I was about to say too, like, what?
Fuck you both. Your names are too close. Anyone want to ship the two? Nixus. Also,
I come for
dragon
your
and
kneecaps.
dragon and yote porn. That's something I have to look up tonight. Hey, Nexus.
What?
Did your brain die?
You don't even want to know.
Oh, I figured it doesn't bother you none. You can roll with a joke, Nix.
Hey, kid, did you watch Monty Python?
Yes.
Nice. Do you like the
Like-
alternate sketch?
I'm a stoner. Of course I've watched Monty Python. That's another thing that people don't get is stoners understand. Monty Python is stoner comedy. That's like asking somebody who smokes weed, have you ever seen Cheech and Chong? You can tell who's a real stoner and who isn't by the answer to that. Guaranteed you know which is which, even if you're not a stoner. Oh. Anyways.
I like the argument sketch.
What's up?
I like the, from Monty Python's Flying Circus, I like the argument sketch.
Argument sketch.
It's where he pays to have an argument with someone.
Oh, God, I haven't seen that one in ages. Fuck you. Go watch it.
I think it's Michael Palin and John Cleese.
Oh, I don't pay attention to actors. It's one of those. For me, I don't care so much about the actor as their work. If I'm watching Monty Python, my thoughts are on the characters on screen, not the people who portray them. Make sense?
Yeah.
Ooh, excuse me.
Well,
I burp how a dragon. I burp how a dragon growls.
me rot. Lady. Why? Cool. That I can accept.
Did I just see one of Z's drawings on your stream?
What?
I think I just saw one of Z Does Stuff's drawings.
What, in the gallery? Or the thing behind the chat? Down there?
Yeah, the thing behind the chat.
I mean, I think so, yeah. Hell, didn't you draw Frost a while back? Like a long while back?
Oh man, that was, yeah.
Yeah, it's more than likely on the opening, like, stream starting soon page, because my gallery is down there. His is on the starting page. But it's effectively all of the fan art we've gotten over the years.
Oh yeah, biggest sticker.
Huh?
Biggest stickest?
Oh, Ramon's talking about the biggest dickest scene in life, Brian.
Oh, god damn it!
I remember that one. That was all scripted too. Like, the guards weren't supposed to laugh at it, but then he... Yeah, I don't need to explain it.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that they were told they'd be fired if they laughed.
Yeah, but then he started going around getting people to laugh about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you find it visible when I say the biggest dick? Sorry, I just find that entire skit hilarious.
Okay. So, I need to go that way? But first... Holy fucking shish kebabs!
That's an interesting curse word.
That means better than shit kebabs.
Mike,
I lost a day somewhere. That's a fucking terrible thing.
Nothing like a
terribly
good night's rest.
weird
You've
thing to
been
say.
doing real well since you arrived. Keep up the good
Oh
work.
shit! Fuck! I watered these but didn't plant them. Oops.
How could you?
Suck ass.
Nah. Well, depends on how intoxicated I am.
And whose?
Don't worry about it.
I think Kit has stated this before, but you actively make yourself kind of gay.
Fucking Christ!
And listen here, you little shit.
Oh. You do not know the half of it. Oh, also, the fact that I have gotten so many people to admit your ass just stereotypes yo too easily.
No, I can't stand it.
I fucking love it because it makes my brain just go.
Like, at this point, this has to be borderline cyberbullying. It has to.
Bitch. Tain't cyberbullying if it's true! I can't say that either, but still, you know what I mean. Wait, why do I hold on? Break! Excuse you! Okay, that's where we're gonna leave off. I'm sorry. I just realized I have softwood. I don't even know what the fuck softwood is or why it is, but fucking Christ. Folks, this is where we're gonna leave off. So, if you enjoy the gameplay or the commentary, give us a like. If you want to keep up with this or any of our other content, hit subscribe and ring the bell. Become part of our notification squad.
Bless you.
Become part of our notification squad so you can see when we upload when we go live. But for now, this is Kitthesoulless and Crew signing off. So until next time, everybody, bye-bye! Also, fucking Christ, I need to pee. Y'all can say your bye-byes while I go pee. Excuse me.
Alright. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Until next time, I'm in chat, which will probably still bad. Bap. Bap. Bap.
This is true. Wait a minute, I gotta keep them. Well, time for the dad jokes.
Yippee! I'm bapping you, Dylan. You're getting bapped.
Hey, Jackie.
Yeah.
You do know when a joke becomes a dad joke, don't you?
Oh no. When?
When it becomes apparent. You know what Mario's favorite brand of clothing is? Come on, guess.
Hmm.
Denim, denim, denim. I heard a snicker. How did Vikings communicate back in the olden days?
The lint just called me a sentient foot fungus. Boy, you edgier than a... Bro, you about as edgy as a circle.
Now, both of you behave before I put you in the I love you shirt.